Yo.
Some magnificent views.
Ancestors smiled on me. Diamonds on my diamond.
What up? What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Ascension Capitalist tapping back in with another video. And in today's video, I have more trade breakdowns for you guys. So this is part 4 of the demo account trading series. So today I have 2 break-evens and 2 losses for you guys. Yeah, man, not doing too good, but I want to make this video too long, so let's get straight into these breakdowns, man. All right, the first setup I got for you guys is USD CHF, and for this trade idea, this was actually a counter trend setup on the 4-hour time frame. So for this setup, I was looking at this zone here. Price was fairly bullish, starting from where we are now. Let's see. We had a big impulse here. Boosh. Big impulse, and we continued to, make higher highs and lows. Highs and lows. Then when we got to this low here, whoa. Where's my button at, dude? Oh my god, I'm glitching out in front of you guys live. Whatever. But anyway, once we got to that point here, once we got to this high here, and we got to this low here, this was considered a liquidation because price did not close below this low here. Price did not close below this low here. So therefore we are still bearish. We're just sweeping this liquidity. So once we got to this point, and then we continued the rally and broke this high, I say, okay, that confirmed to me we're still bullish. So once price came up here, I was like, okay, this could be the next zone that we could potentially catch buys from. But let's see what happened. So as I was waiting for price to give me this pullback to this point of interest here, I decided to take a counter trend setup because I seen that we were ranging between this high and this low. So this was our trading range here, from this low to this high, and it got liquidated. Price came up, liquidated this high, and then started to give us corrective price action. Some bearish corrective price action. Can't even talk, y'all. It's kind of early. I just woke up, so I decided to drop down to the 15-minute time frame. And on the 15-minute time frame, all right, where did price liquidate that high? It was here. So this was the highest point in the market at the time. This was the high that liquidated, and we started to, give us that bearish momentum. So this was the next range. We broke this low here. Ouch. And then gave a pullback. This was our high here. Then we broke structure. Well, not really broke structure, but again, with the liquidation here. Then whoosh, shied away from this area. We're still essentially ranging between this high and this low. It's just that liquidation happened. So once price gives me a break beneath this low, boosh. Now, what is the highest high within the leg? So now we're essentially ranging between this high and this low. So this is your new range here. And now this was our valid point of interest within this range, because we have a sweep of liquidity here, which is session highs, session liquidity. So this was Asia session here in this little red box. So we sweeped Asia highs, and then boosh, sweep Asia lows. So quickly there, we had a sweep of the highs, sweep of the lows, and left behind a big imbalance. And then boosh, we had this point of interest here that stood out to me. that valid extreme within the whole trading range. So that looked pretty valid to me. Pull out that premium discount tool, you can see this is that valid area where you want to enter in the market. So here, so we have this valid extreme, which we eventually break the low of that trading range. It's not the right tool, man. I'm just grabbing everything. That's not what I'm supposed to grab. So we broke the low of that trading range, giving us a new range. Now it's from this high to this low after breaking that low. So now this is when I was looking for sells in the market. I seen that, okay, we still have some imbalances that need to be filled, and I see plenty of liquidity. So first I want to pull out my premium discount tool from the low to the high of the trading range, and I see all of this liquidity. We got some session highs here, which was Asia session liquidity, the buy side, and I seen 2 points of interest. This points of interest here, and this one here. So the first one looked pretty valid. You know, it has liquidity resting just before, so it could give me this move just like this, whoosh, go down just like that. But it wasn't the valid extreme, and you always want to go with the valid extreme because the one that you're choosing is going to become liquidity. So this here, I eyed this as liquidity. Let me remove all this. So I was looking for this valid extreme to hold. So it's that last available point of interest within the market at this time, with imbalance resting just before. So this was the whole trade idea behind this 15-minute setup. And I had set a limit, waiting for the market to tag me in. Had a protective highs on this position. My highs were my highs, yeah. My position, my stop loss covered the high of this, something like this here. So, and I was aiming for that point of interest on the 4-hour time frame. So this is a very counter trend setup, and I was looking to capture about a 1 to 5, and would have been very nice, as I mentioned for this account, I do risk 2% per setup, so that would have been about 10K right there, but that did not happen. But let's see what happened. All right, so I was waiting for price to tag me in. Price gave me that tag in, so price started to hang out in this area for a little bit. Then eventually we started to go deeper and draw down. And once we got to about this point here, once price, my stop loss was a little tighter, a little closer to the wick. So once price got to this point here, I'm just like, oh, I might as well just cut it, bro. And I cut my stop loss. And with the MT5 broker anyway, the spread is always pretty wide, and so I would have got stopped out either way. There's no raw spreads on the MT5 broker, so that would have been toast anyway. So I close out this position here, and look what happened directly after. So price began to dump during Asia session and flew directly to the TP that I had in mind. So this is one of those things, maybe I didn't have a wide enough stop, or maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But nevertheless, we went straight to TP and it was over. Yeah, so that was the trade idea behind this USD CHF trade, and I'll pop it up on the screen here how much I lost on this one. So took a hit here, but still in bright spirits. Now let me go over to the next trade idea, which was AUD CAD. Now AUD CAD was a little frustrating because the stars were very much aligning. As you can see, took a loss here, smashed out. I was expecting price to do this here, come all the way up, breaching this high. So that did not happen. Whoa. That did not happen, but let's see why it did not happen. So as you can see, very bullish market right here. We're bearish for quite some time. Why do I keep grabbing the wrong thing? It's pretty early, y'all, so forgive me if I'm kind of moving like a snail. But we did have that bearish price action here. Then we had the flip sentiment in the market. Sweep of this low, break of this high, change of character, our market structure shift here. And then we continue to rally, break structure, pullback, mitigation, break structure, pullback, mitigation. You know, it's giving us this very good corrective price action here. And then I was just waiting for the same thing to happen here, but that did not happen. But everything about this trade looked very high probable. The only thing that would have made this more high probable if there was liquidity resting just before. You know, we did have that break of structure, we did have that imbalance, and we just came from a previously mitigated zone. But you know, price tagged us in. We were in this trade for maybe like 2 days or so. Let's see, from the time of mitigation, I was in this trade for about 3 days. So 3 days just for it to stop me out. You know, this part of swing trading. But I'll pop it up on the screen how much I lost here on this trade. And let's go over to NZD JPY. So for NZD JPY, again, this trade looked very, very, very high probable. So again, we just came from a bearish market, and then we had our shift in sentiment here. We had the sweep and the break, and this is where the whole change of character or the market structure shift happened. So if I change this to a change of character, this is where, you know, the market flipped. So then, remember, I think this was about 2 weeks ago, I was looking to get in from the zone, which was silly because the market shifted here, so should have waited for the zone to fail, and then we created a flip zone. This was supply turned to demand, so I was looking to get in on this valid extreme, and we had some liquidity resting. That liquidity got swept out. You know, we started to give us some bullish momentum that eventually it had to be some news or something, liquidated me out of my position, and now we're starting to get some bullish momentum again. But I could still see this very much heading to TP because we did not close below this low, you know what I mean? So there's still room for us to, you know, have some bullish sentiment. Yep, so I'll pop it up on the screen how much I lost here. And yeah, man, constantly getting hit back to back. But actually for this trade, I did, once we got to this high here, I rolled my stops to break even, so I actually didn't lose much on this trade, maybe like a small gain of like $50 or something like that. But yeah, more of a break even on this trade. But one more to show you guys before I give you my condolences to this freaking challenge right now. Still alive, you know, still haven't reached that 10% drawdown yet. But Euro AUD. So let me rewind price here a little bit. So I was looking at this market and I seen, okay, very much bearish. As I mentioned before, I showed you guys this one last week. Swept the high, broke the low. This is that first shift in the market here, in that first phase of the reversal, mitigation of this valid point of interest, and we continued to roll to the downside. And then once we got down to this point, we started to get another retracement, and I seen price at this point, and I decided to market execute, and I quickly closed that position because even though this setup looked very enticing, we did have the whole break of this low, sweep of this high, and I didn't really like the whole price action, what and how that was looking. It was acting very indecisive, and I was thinking, okay, maybe we might have some sort of reversal come through, and we're probably going to smash through all this here. And that's exactly what happened. But let's see it in more detail. So once price mitigated here, I market execute on this bearish hammer, and I have my stops just above that high. And you know, price started to do its thing, but I remembered, okay, price was acting very indecisive down here. We bush quickly. I can even call this a sweep because we swept here. So let me change this to an arrow, not this one. Hold on, give me a second here, guys. Mark this out. I'll mark this more liquidity. So boom, we swept this low, then we swept this high, and that's very indicative of indecision. So that's why I decided to close this early, because I knew this is probably wasn't going to hold. But if it were to hold, look, beautiful position, would have gave us a 1 to 5 if it would have just, you know, flew down. But I didn't really see that happen because of this indecision of the sweep of this low and the sweep of this high. So, you know, I knew something else was coming, so I decided to close that early, and thankfully I did, and close that for I think it was a small loss, but I'll pop up on the screen how much I lost here on this trade. And yeah, so I closed that pretty early, but eventually we smashed through that zone, and this is where we are in real time today. And yeah, man, took a break even here, and a break even on NZD JPY, and a loss on AUD CAD and USD Chef. So constantly getting hit, man, back to back. Like, I'm not taking any W's. The only W that I had was in the beginning of the challenge on that USD CAD trade, and you know, that really set the standard and kind of set me off to a good start. But it's not really looking good. But I'll pop it up on the screen and show you guys where the whole account stands as a whole. But it's not looking too good. I'm about 6K in drawdown, but I'll show you guys the whole MT5. But nevertheless, man, I'm still going to continue to give it all I got in this challenge and try to reach that 20% target. But I wanted to make this video pretty quick to show you guys those trades. But maybe y'all keep rising, keep growing, keep giving it your best every day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.